But there's just been like a lot of, bullshit and being around so many people in the industry who've experienced the same thing. It's just, and honestly, he needs to be in prison.
Real life. If it ain't real life, just ain't real life. Street Starz. You know what time it is.
Well, I was originally born in Florida. I was adopted, and my parents got me when I was 11 years old. And then I moved to Louisville, Kentucky, home of Muhammad Ali, home of Lamar Jackson, Jack Harlow, Louisville. And then as my career started while I was in college, I moved out to Los Angeles. And then I was just like everywhere, Atlanta, New York, and everything. But I was raised in Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay, definitely. Now let me ask you this first and foremost. When you hear the words "the music business," what is the first thought that come to your mind? As of
Corrupt.
now.
Corrupt.
Wow. To say corrupt, you must be pulling from something. What's the first image that pops in your brain when you say the words corrupt?
Jay-Z.
Ooh, that is the top of the food chain.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Mr. Hay, what I want to do is, of course, for you to even be able to bring up the name Jay-Z, that means, of course, you must have affiliations in the world of what Jay-Z is. Can you at least let our audience know as far as possibly, and again, let's go down the rabbit hole here. What is your affiliations in regards to the world in the music business to Jay-Z, to Sean Carter?
So I go way back with him from the days of I met Jay-Z through a mill, and the former Rockefeller artist who is on a lot of his earlier hits. So that's how I got in contact with Jay-Z, and through a mill, and this is like a few years after she had left Rockefeller, or left the Rockefeller management, because she was signed to Columbia, I think, but that's how I got introduced to him, right? And then when I started to work and we would talk on like, his T-Mobile two-way pager. I would hit him, and he'd hit me back about a mill and the projects that I was doing at the time, and I would pitch him some stuff, yada 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 yada. But we had an open relationship. So when Rihanna came out with Pon de Replay, and I was pitching Pon de Replay to journalists, the first journalist that hit us back was this woman from MTV. Her name was Jennifer Vineyard, and she worked for MTV News. She told me, she was like, if you can get, Rihanna was completely unknown. She was like, if you can get a quote from Jay-Z, then we'll run the story. So I was like, I even told her, I was like, yeah, no problem. I talked to this guy about everything. He had been the head of Def Jam. For not too long, right? So I figured he would easily give us a quote. And, he completely snowballed. He snowballed me. He wouldn't give us a quote about Rihanna. He wouldn't do anything, for her in the beginning. So then I'd go back to Jennifer Vineyard and be like, I can't get a quote from Jay. Obviously, I didn't say that. I was like, he's just real busy coming into his, position at Def Jam, yada, yada, yada. And, she still ran the story for us anyways, and that's kind of how it all began with her, So when Jay-Z comes to mind, it's just like, like all the games throughout the years, there's just, we'll talk about it as the show goes on, but there's just been like a lot of, bullshit, and being around so many people in the industry who've experienced the same thing. It's just, and honestly, he needs to be in prison, and hopefully, with the stuff that, people like Jaguar Wright is speaking out about, stuff that I'm speaking out about, hopefully that can get some eyes on some kind of, prosecutor, someone who will look into them and, see if justice can be done.
Yeah, we've seen the same thing happen with R. Kelly as far as just,
Exactly.
you get the right person to look in the right
Exactly.
direction, something may stick. So you, as is listed, if someone was to Google your name, Jonathan Hay, they'll see, you're as an American publicist and record producer. You start off as a publicist or a producer, or
A publicist.
okay. For those that don't know what a publicist is, because a lot of a lot of cats don't know, can you explain what a publicist's job is?
So the publicist's job has changed now a lot, and in 2024 with social media being so, prevalent, and artists are more in control, the newer artists and stuff. But publicists used to be the spokesperson, for the artists. They would issue the statements. They would, manage the press, crisis, crisis management situations. Were key, and like everybody, to contact the artist, they would contact the publicist. And that was like our job. But my job, I wasn't like the guy that like did like the red carpet stuff. I wouldn't, because there's like those publicists too who do the red carpet, who coordinate with the red carpet coordinator, and they do all that kind of stuff. I was more of the strategy behind it. Like that's what I like, is to come up with the strategic, angles, and the marketing and publicity behind it. So that was like more my job. That's what I was hired to do, to be that person. So that's what I would consider myself, as more of a strategist. Now some PR people, they like to be all out there, like I said, and do the red carpet stuff. That's not really my thing. I'm more of a, stay in my own lane and just come up with strategy.
Shout out Reallyfe Street Starz, nigga. Move. Hey.